as you've seen, John Means is on the bereavement list, dealing with a family matter. And the second is, just wanted to congratulate Melanie on being the first female play-by-play announcer for the Baltimore Orioles. So congratulations, Melanie. Very cool.
Awesome. All right, we'll open it up to questions. Please put your name in the chat if you have one. Starting with Rich Dubroff.
Rich, you're muted.
Brandon, by September 27th, I'm going to in time for the postseason. So, do you make any special preparations for 7-inning, for 7-inning games?
Any special? Nothing special. No. It's I was just telling Rock on radio, I haven't seen one of these since 2009. So I've managed a lot of 7-inning doubleheaders in my minor league managing career. But yeah, I've never seen one in the big leagues, obviously. I'm excited about the new rule this year. I think it's really helpful to really everybody in the league for the health and of our pitchers. It's a big deal right now. So it's just a shorter game. And, they could possibly use, bullpen guys have to be ready earlier in the game than normal. But yeah, the game kind of goes a little bit quicker. So we'll see. We'll see how it plays in the big leagues.
And Connolly?
Hey, Brandon, this is one of those you do it differently in 2020 questions that we keep asking you. Can you hear me?
Breaking up a little bit. Yeah.
Okay, we're going to try this again here. Sorry. Anyway, in past years, when you guys have had somebody, an offensive player, a young, inexperienced player struggling, whether it's like DJ Stewart or Austin Hayes before yesterday's 2 hits, you guys have been able to, have the option of sending them down, going to AAA, trying to get some confidence back, trying to get, maybe the swing back, and then maybe come up later. You did it with Mullins last year. You did it with Rio last year. How difficult or how much you guys wrestle with it this year when you have a guy like that? Do you have a longer leash on these guys because there's a truncated season and there's no AAA? How are you guys dealing with that and kind of weighing those options?
Yeah, good question. I think it's definitely different when if you're sending somebody to our secondary site. I think there's positives and negatives. Negative is not the 9-inning game experience and the at-bats against other teams and the games against other teams. I think the positive, though, is that there's a lot of work that can be done to get these guys, and everybody's got different reasons to go down. And if it's a mechanical issue or something you want them to work on, you have all the time in the world, and they can get as many at-bats as possible just because you have so many simulated games. You can take the time out of the day to really focus on getting better. And so I think that's something that we're going to weigh. If that is the case with one of these guys, with Cody, we felt like there were some mechanical things as well as some confidence things that we wanted him to improve on, and kind of a low stress, low pressure situation to go out to face hitters down in our secondary site. And we have a plan in place for him with that. And if that happens with other guys, it would be the same thing, a plan in place to go down to work on whatever we feel like is necessary and to come back up.
Pete Gilbert.
Hey, Brandon. First of all, Melanie says thank you. And yes, Melanie, congrats. You were awesome last night. That was great. As far as this doubleheader, do you really have to make sure you're focusing yourself, like, hey, the 5th inning is the 7th inning, the 4th is the 6th, just in a game, do you have to remind yourself, do you have a bench coach saying, hey, this is where we are right now? Because this really is something, it's really different.
Well, that's, yeah, when I said it kind of gets fast, that's a little bit what I mean. All of a sudden it's the 4th and it's, not the 4th, but it's starting to get into that, in a normal game, a 6th, 7th inning, range. And so I think, instead of your late leverage guys not having to get ready 2 hours after the game starts, it might be an hour, 45 minutes. You never know. So that's just the difference. Is the game is shorter, more emphasis possibly to score earlier, to score first, just because it's just different. It's just different. I haven't seen it in a while, so I'm looking forward to seeing it today.
Brett Hollander.
Hey, Brandon, if you don't mind, game 2, Wojciechowski got a lot of swings and misses against the Yankees. When he's right, what is he doing well to miss bats?
Good slider. Got a fastball that's got some hop on it. When he's pitching well, he's locating his fastball well, and his slider's on. His slider is a plus slider when he's right, and we saw that on occasion last year. I remember a game against the Red Sox where I don't know if he went eight innings at home, hot day game, where his slider was devastating, and they didn't really even hit a ball hard on him. And so, that's really his bread and butter, is that slider against right-handed hitters. What I was impressed with the other day was that he had a better changeup than last year. A lot of times his fastball and changeup can kind of morph in, where his changeup's only 4 or 5 miles an hour slower than his heater. And when it was a bigger difference his last start. It had a little bit of sink. So I think that's an equalizer, especially versus left-handed hitters as well. So with Asher, it's about fastball command and that slider.
Coach Reza.
Hey, Brandon, did you guys consider getting another arm up here for today's doubleheader, especially given how much Eshelman threw last night?
We did consider it, but we're going with what we have.
Steve Molesky.
Brandon, with John Means adding a couple miles an hour velocity, is that hard to do one season to the next, the gain he's showing so far? And secondly, what could that mean for him? I mean, what does that mean, to the whole repertoire and so forth?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think I'm really surprised at 95, 96 that you're seeing on the board. And it's firm from the side too. It's got a really nice fastball going right now. As much as I think that's important, I think the key really is his changeup. I thought his changeup was a little bit better last night. They threw some good ones. That changeup was in that 10, 11 mile an hour range difference from his fastball. I saw some good depth to it that I really didn't see in that first start against the Yankees, so that's a positive. Didn't really need his breaking ball yesterday. Didn't throw many, just because he was working his heater by those guys, and kind of front and back on him with his changeup. But yeah, I think that it's John's a big, strong guy. He's put a lot of work in. You do see guys increase their velocity and are able to hold it for a while, and I think John's gonna be able to do that.
Rich Dubroff.
Brandon, you're going to need another starter for Saturday, aren't you? Is Eshelman a possibility there?
Eshelman will be a possibility for next weekend, yeah.
And Pete Gilbert.
And Brandon, as it appears we've all gotten used to everything being, you just have to be so flexible, and there are no routines that are safe anymore. And baseball is so much about that. Have you gotten used to everything that's just being up every day is insane? And are you comfortable being uncomfortable with it?
Comfortable being uncomfortable is definitely a good term for 2020 right now. The answer to that question would be, I think different things are coming every day right now. So I think there's just a lot of challenges, and there's a lot of things you're just dealing with on a daily basis, and no 2 days are the same. So like I said the other day, it's a day of adjustments. Right now, every day is different, and so just do the best you can.
And Dan Connolly.
And I appreciate that. I apologize if you said this before in the beginning. I couldn't hear you 100%. But with John, I know there's a bereavement list, certain amount of days, kind of stuff, and you guys want him to take as much time as possible. But do you know do you right now pencil him to make his next start? Do you have any idea on that yet?
I wouldn't even know that yet. No, he's dealing with a family matter, and we're going to give him some space and some time.